God damn it.
Jim, we're driving in circles. You're both out.
What are they?
You believe in monsters?
Promise me.
Ooh, what is up, people? What's going on? Welcome back. We are here for another episode, season 1, episode 2, The Way Things Are. Bigger Ford Entertainment, and Brian the Grizzly is in the house. Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
And 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We do movie shows on Mondays and Thursdays from 9:30 to midnight, and on Saturdays we're doing the silo breakdowns, and it's getting really, really good. I'm the last episode was really good, and I'm excited about Friday. This is going to be a great time.
Yeah, Silo is definitely good. I appreciate and thanks for having me on that last episode. I didn't see it. I was like, I'm waiting for the watch party. I was like, all right, we're gonna get into the watch party. And another wait, you guys didn't do a watch party? So I understand it's kind of hard doing a lot this all the time when there's so much, you know what I mean? He
So
just says, I'm so glad you're doing this. I'm excited to see what stands out now that we have so much added context from season 3. Said, Julie, don't you recognize me? What's up, Daryl? Everybody recognize you, brother. Thanks for popping in. Much appreciated. He said, you from one of two cars that hasn't happened in a long time. It's
it's
special. What do you
special,
think
he
it
said.
means?
That's
Yes,
exactly.
yes. We definitely gonna break down that information and all of that stuff too, because Brian said well, not really figured out, but he's seen a lot of things that he didn't really notice the first time around. So that's gonna be very interesting to bring up. And I got a theory that I seen, and we're gonna play that too as well. I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. But before we start, it was brought to my attention from Nikisha. Thank you very much for bringing it to my attention that I actually called something in episode 5. So I'm just gonna play the video so that you guys know. Episode 5, the light of day. We did this review, and I actually called this.
Someone break that down. Someone definitely break that down. See what we can find out about that word. Because again, I think everything in this show is kind of a hint of the number 74. And if you watch Lost, numbers was a big part of Lost, right? They used to have to press the button to get that number to stop all the time. And then those numbers were on the caves, those numbers were on the dialer, right? So those numbers are important in this. Are they dates in the bottle? It's hard to say because they said 20, I think it was 2650 something was one of the numbers,
Which
but I'm
could
like,
be
it could be the future.
February 6th, 1956, 59 or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, Tamika, what's
It
up?
could be, yeah, I didn't think about that. Instead of putting just an O2, it's just 2. Yeah, that could be interesting too. Maybe they wrote it in different ways. They could be definitely a date. I agree
Pay
with you on that
attention.
one. Or it could be, something happening where because I think there is some kind of sort of time travel in this show, right? So maybe it's in their mind, or maybe they're actually getting transported to certain spots in time. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I really do think that those numbers could be either, like you said, dates. So that could be interesting.
Now, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything
Yeah,
because
you
I've
do.
been wrong many times, but I did call the time travel. And if I go back and think about it, I don't remember what caused me to actually think about the time traveling. And this is a one thing, so I want you to put that on the board too, Brian.
Yep.
Um, are there any signs that there are time traveling in this show? Because I remember when they brought it up, when they actually showed that there was time travel, I said it on a stream or something, and someone said there were hints to time traveling. So that's definitely something we're going to look for as well. Because I don't remember seeing any, right? I really don't remember seeing any hints of time travel in the show. And it's just for me, it has a lot of connections to Lost. So that's why I definitely thought about that. Brian, what are your thoughts, though?
No, I mean, you figured it out, especially with the dates thing. You're thinking, okay, think about if you put Lost together with all the stuff that happened in Lost and the time travel kind of thing that was going on there, along with the dates. I think you came up with a really good point. I thought that was really smart.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And then we did end up finding out that there is some sort of time travel in this show. So that's definitely something that's interesting. And we got to figure out now how the time travel is going to work in that, because if Ethan is correct, right, that you can't go back and you can't change what happened, then why is Julie able to go back in time, right? Just to view things, right? If she can't stop it. So that's going to be
She's a
some.
story walker, whatever. That's what they called it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Tamara Rain called time travel way back. Did they? Okay. Well, I'm not saying anybody didn't. I was just saying because, like I said, I didn't watch nobody. I didn't get no theories from nobody. It's just for me. When I thought about the connections to Lost and shit like that, I was like, yeah, it definitely seems like there's gonna be some time travel in there. What is up, Nikisha? Thank you for
Keisha,
popping in. Much appreciated. Said toot toot beep beep.
to
You
be
know.
good.
Good evening from Aholics. What's up? You definitely right,
Oh, look at the picture,
Carmenako.
man. That's so sad.
We definitely are. Oh yeah, yeah. Carmenako was a gym fan though, wasn't he?
Yep.
I believe Carmenako was a gym fan. And you know what, Carmenako? When
You're
they
right.
actually dusted Jim, it hurt. It felt. It felt. I was like, damn. I can't really believe they killed Jim. So
I
I'm
mean, you think
definitely
about the
there.
Matthews family is really the family we're focusing on. Yes, everyone else is important. Boyd is really important because he was already there, but we're really there through the Matthews family. So,
Hmm.
and him and Tabitha are the main ones, right? So, like, that's almost like the lead character just being gone. No matter what we think
Absolutely.
about Jim and all this, how frustrated he was even in this
Hmm.
episode. Just
Hmm. Absolutely. He's gone. You know what I mean? Dates on Tabitha Vision is dates of the cycle, I believe. Julie been asked, don't you recognize me? Might be hit. Yes, 100%. That is something we're definitely going to get into too, because I do think that was a hint to the time travel as well, now that I watched it back, right? Because, like, wait, and again, the man in yellow, he can pretend to be Thomas and all of that stuff, but this is a creature that called her name, so I believe they may have had some kind of interaction or something like that. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to figure out.
it was even weirder because she looked like she recognized him. The way she looked at him, she was like, "I think I do recognize him." So
Hmm.
it's because of the idea that we're not a non-linear time stream. You don't know if she actually can remember some of the stuff she's gone through.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's not time travel, it's story walking. Yeah, but there's still elements of time travel, right? Because she went back and she gave Boyd the rope that happened in season 2, right? So again, at the end of the day, it may not be full on time traveling, like you said, and that's probably why she can't change the time, but I honestly think she will. I honestly think that she's gonna change something. I just believe that. I just don't see them putting that in there with it not being able to change anything, you know?
Hmm.
Daryl said the talisman being where Boyd found them could be time travel. My theory is that Julie is the one who rang the Matthews home, which made Jim reach for the phone and led to Thomas falling off the table. Ooh, that's
Whoa.
interesting. That is interesting. Tehran called everything. He didn't come up with the theory of time travel. Stop giving that guy props for everything. He's not the show writer. Oh, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
I'm not. That's what someone put in the chat, so I don't
Yeah.
even know who it is, to be honest with you. He said, "Rest in peace,
R.I.P.
Jim."
Jim.
You know, I don't know if I'm high enough yet for this review of a review. Then you can get high, brother. I don't know what to tell you. Time
Yeah.
traveling is story walking. Boyd is the main character. Yes, 100%.
Yes, but when you talk about we're seeing that the audience is introduced to through all these things through the eyes of the Matthews family. So if you don't recognize that, I don't know that's literally what story is. Everyone
Hmm.
else was already there. You're being introduced through their eyes. So they
Yeah.
are the focus, especially in season 1. We get to know all the other characters, and Boyd is our
Hmm.
favorite of all the characters, and but he's not the lead character. He's the most important for us, but he's
Hmm.
not the lead. The lead is the one that we see through, that we learn things through. So we're learning from the Matthews family because they were brought in during this time. So that's why we see them. Which is also interesting that Jade came in on the same trip, and that's why it was special when they talk about, oh, you both came at the same time. Victor says you both came to 2 cars. That's happened in a long time. That means you're special. What do you think that means? Well, it
Hmm.
means that they're the two main people that they're trying to get there at the same time. They
Yeah.
probably always came at the same time.
Yeah, very interesting. Tehran was also one of the guys that knew about the leaks and was on a stream sharing his knowledge with leak knowledge. I would come up with wild theories also. Okay, so again, I have no idea who this guy is, so I don't know. I never watched him. I don't know. I guess he read the leaks too. I have no idea. Carmichael, he called time travel way before the leaks. Question for the panel. Could the man in yellow be summoned when the boy in white was sharing knowledge to Christopher? We know knowledge comes with a cost. And
Mhm.
maybe the man in yellow is the reason that the massacre happened. Interesting, Fletcher. And I'm glad you asked that question because I'm going to say this and then I'll let Brian go. I 100% believe the man in yellow caused the massacre. I 100% believe he was the one that did it. So I got a little bit of theory on how it happens and stuff like
Mhm.
that, which we'll get to in a video one of these days. But Brian, what are your thoughts?
I think that's going to be probably the most important part of season 4 that we're going to get. We're going to see what happened that night, and they're going to start to piece it all together. Seeing what happened that night is going to explain more about the monsters, more about the man in yellow. Has he been calling the shots from the side character, a side of it, or they've actually been literally telling them what to do? Is he controlling them like puppets? All those things are going to be more explained in season 4.
Hmm. It's going to be interesting. So Boyd is the lead character. Yes, Boyd is the lead character,
You're not
but
understanding.
Brian is no, but Brian is right. This season, we're seeing it in the eyes of the Matthews family
Yeah,
because, like them, we are coming into the show for the first time, right? So we're following their journey. Yes, it is Boyd, the lead character. He gets a lot of shine in this season as well. I think season 2 he gets more than anything.
more.
But
Mhm.
right, but right now we have to be introduced to people, and we have to be introduced to them in a way where the new characters are introduced and we're seeing everything for the first time as they are. So I agree with Brian on that one.
Also, the
Um,
showrunners say that the Matthews family. I mean, if you read watch any of them, they would say the Matthews family is the way that you're introduced to all these characters. They are our eyes and ears. That's what the audience sees. They literally say it. So
yeah,
it's not like I'm
absolutely.
making it up.
It's funny that Tabitha looked dead after the crash. Jade looks dead when he hit his head on his way
It's
to
the way
Colony
Colony
House,
House.
and they're the ones that are reincarnated. Interesting.
They are very it's a lot of the stuff that they do is in sync all time without even know
Hmm.
who they are.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
The Expanse did similar things where there
Hmm.
was a character who was there to be told information, didn't make him the main character. Yes, the Matthews are important characters, but Boyd is the lead character. Yeah, 100%. That's all we're saying.
The Expanse is my favorite TV series like ever. So like I 100% agree. But I think we're not introduced to those characters. The Expanse is just different animals. It's just a different animal. It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, Boy could be the star. But I think everything we're seeing is through the Matthews family. And that's what
Hmm.
they said. And when they said we lost Jim, we lost one of our lead characters, they tell you that what Jim is. It's not just
Hmm.
a regular character. He's a lead character.
100%. Question. People say Eloise is alive because Victor doesn't know for sure it was Eloise. Was there any other kids in town? I think it's just Victor, Eloise. That body of the little girl it's Eloise. Ooh, you know what? You bring up a good point in that. Was there any other kids in the town, or was it just those two?
I
That's
didn't see
interesting.
any through the pictures though, right?
Hmm.
And they only talk about those two. And he said, I picked up pieces. My question is, how did he drag that body of his mother all the way up that hill?
Yeah, for real.
Like and then dig a hole. There's so many unanswered questions. Like, how did a little boy do all those things?
And
How
and
does
if
he
he did,
know
and if he didn't do it as a little boy, then what did he do? Wait until he was old enough or
that-
strong enough to be
to do
right?
that? It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
that
interesting.
doesn't make sense. I think Victor is a big piece to this puzzle that we have to figure out.
Hmm. The man in yellow ain't stupid. You have the boy in white, and now the man in yellow. No, he's not stupid at all. And I believe that we're gonna find a lot of information in season 4 is going to be a lot about the man in yellow. The showrunner said that the first 3 seasons, a roller coaster ride going up, and now the roller coaster ride is going at full speed. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
season 4 is going at full speed. I can
nuts.
guarantee you that 100%. Says, I don't know. I think the Matthew Farmers are the main focus. Tabitha with reincarnation, Julie's story walk-in, Ethan with his role of Victor becoming the new boy in white, even Jim with his answers. You know what?
That's
Yes,
but that is the focus. That's what it
yes,
is.
yes. But you can still be focused on those characters
With
and
having the
still
other
know.
characters matter, it's not just more important in the town. In the terms
Yeah,
of the town, Boyd is the most important thing.
yeah,
Period.
yeah,
That's just
absolutely.
it.
Yes, Jim is a big character in terms of writing. The show is written with Boyd as the main character, like Walt in Breaking Bad and Rick in The Walking Dead. Absolutely, 100%.
That's we're not. I
100%.
don't know why we're not really arguing. We're saying what the focus is
Yeah,
literally through the Matthews family. Literally, they are the main focus for, especially during this season, because we're being introduced. That's what they are.
yeah, we're doing the same thing. We're talking about the same thing, brother. You know what I mean? We're agreeing with each other. To be honest, I think Boyd is this huge in the show because of Harold, the actor that has more audience. That's why he got such a massive role. Yeah, he's a good actor, 100%, and I
He's
I believe
probably
you
the
could be
most
right
well
with that.
known. You think he's the most well known? I mean, he's been in things for decades. I've been seeing it.
Absolutely. So I agree with you, Brian. I love you, my guy.
No, I think that we see things very similar.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
even when you're saying things when the show, like I literally think me and you see things very similar. But like literally, it's the same thing. We're 100% on. I actually want to bring in one thing, if we can, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we remember when we get back into episode 2 and get to Ethan and he's having a seizure.
Hmm.
Now
Hmm.
they ask, have he ever had a seizure before?
No, he
And
hasn't. Yeah.
the answer is no. He has never had a seizure before. Um, then Ethan's also the same person that has all these answers.
Hmm.
How does he know about story walking?
You know what, Brian? Yo, this is why we got good chemistry. I am so glad you came up to that because I'm going to show this video. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Let's listen.
Figured it out. Just figured it out. Fromsville is a creation from Ethan's mind. They said the answer is in the beginning. Guess what? Guess what? Episode 9, Season 1. Ethan, before a tower is ever mentioned, is playing with his toys, and he says, "We have to find the tower." Cut. 3 seconds later, Julie walks in, and she says, "Hey, buddy, do you want me to tell you a story?" And he says, "Nope, I can tell my own stories now. It's fine." The reason Ethan knows so much about everything is he's creating the story. Ethan is dressed in yellow through the entire first season in a yellow jacket. Guess what? When the man in yellow shows up, he's in a yellow jacket. You know why? Because Ethan is the one writing the story. He is the hero and the villain because it's his story. That's why Ethan could see the future and see Victor's drawings on the wall. That's why he knows Julie is a story walker. That's why he knows all these things that he shouldn't know. It's because it's his story that he is creating. When Julie asked him what his story is about, he said they're trying to find their way home. When he was looking through Victor's drawings, they said, "What do you think it is?" He said, "It's a story. We have to put them in the right order so that we can figure out what to do on the quest." He's the one creating the story. I've said it before. The town is like a town created from a child's mind. That's why there's when the electricity goes in the ground, it doesn't go to anything because a kid wouldn't know that. The plugs are weird. There's no wire in the cables. You know why? Because a kid wouldn't know that. You know why the town is designed weird? Because a kid doesn't think about the intricacies of everything that goes into a town. A kid looks at everything at surface level and creates it from there. Ethan is the one creating the town. Oh my God.
Yo, What do you think?
I mean, he has some real good stuff behind that. Wow, I don't know if he is creating the town. I definitely think he knows all the answers. And the more I'm diving in and seeing these things, the more I'm thinking he might be the man in yellow. Even though it doesn't make sense to me, because why would he kill his father? Like, that doesn't make sense. And that's the biggest thing that stops me saying Ethan's the man in yellow. But I do believe Ethan is a story walker. I believe Ethan is the first one who did story walk. I believe they told him about it and said, "Hey, but you can't change what you already been through." He didn't like come up with that. Someone said that. He's like, "Oh, I realize I can't change anything." So that's why he's telling them from what he went through. But the thing is, Julie doesn't have to go through that. She might not believe him. She might actually change something and then find out that Ethan was lied to.
Mm,
You know, but he
interesting.
was the first story walker. He went through the past. He saw the pictures before. He knows, that's why he knows all the answers. Not because of the story, but it's because he's already story walked.
Mm.
He's the
You see,
first one to story walk right when he got hurt.
I was right there with you. I was like, the only thing is the killing his parents. But if it's story, maybe he's not the man in yellow, but he is creating the story, right? He is creating it, and I guess we'll find out. Stories have to have beloved death. Stories have to have this and that. And I'd seen somewhere where someone said that Jim wasn't actually dead because of one of those reasons like that. So it's going to be interesting to see. He said, Harold has been on Lost Matrix. He brings an audience for sure.
No,
Absolutely.
yeah, he's been in more than that. I mean, the best man. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, Oz. I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff. Talk about great
absolutely.
shows. He's
Yeah.
been in a lot of them.
Harold was hired as the main character because he's such a great actor. I agree. I think the man in yellow might have caught Eloise when she left that cellar. At first, I thought a manipulated Christopher would do it, but now I think it was the man in yellow. I know you asked earlier, and I don't think I read it, but you asked if, well, you did ask if we thought she was alive. I still on the theory that she is alive. 100%. I still think she's alive. I think she's the one that's running around outside in those cabin woods there. So we'll see.
I wouldn't be
Indeed, how the
surprised if she was being held captive. I wouldn't be surprised.
ooh, that could be interesting too. Absolutely. Indeed, how the hell does Ethan know so much about this? Is it all in his head? So is Thomas alive in Fromville? Is this the quest to bring Thomas back? Is Thomas the boy in white?
That's what I
Ooh,
came up with. It's Thomas the boy in white.
ooh, ooh. That could be interesting. Yo, who is this dude? Bigger 40. Got to bring him on a stream. Nice theory. Oh, I would definitely bring him on a stream if I knew who he was. Maybe I'll try and find his name on that and see if he wants to come on. Yeah, absolutely. Always trying to collaborate with other people, especially for this
100%.
show. The Ethan plot makes sense, but it could just be the entity using Ethan's thoughts, same way it uses people's dreams and nightmares. I can agree with that, Kramanako. I can definitely agree with that because it's hard to say that it's Ethan being the man in yellow when he kills his father. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I just don't see that happen. But I do think that this town could be manifesting his story. I believe that. I do believe the man in yellow is either a grown up boy in white. Sarah told us boy in white ain't a boy at all. Or maybe it's a grown up Ethan story walking to make the story go on that straight path, not like Julie does. And you see, the problem with that is, again, I don't see Ethan killing his own father. You know what I mean? Uh,
Especially the relationship they had. It wasn't like it was a
yeah.
toxic relationship either. It was like
Hmm.
that's probably the most important person in his life. So that's where I'm like, I don't know.
Same here. Henry asked Victor if Eloise is in the grave, and Victor says, I think so. Of course she's alive. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think the pieces that he picked up were like her dress, maybe a doll. I don't think his body parts because he was a
Yeah.
little boy.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even think he's the one that actually drove and pull those bodies into the grave. I don't think he dragged his mama's body into the grave. Someone out there helped him.
Yeah,
100% believe it.
yeah, I agree. Daryl, so who was the body if not Eloise? We know that there was only Victor and Eloise. Who was the body if not little Eloise? You see,
He
that's
didn't
the
say it
good
was a
question.
body.
Yeah, he
That's
just said, yeah,
pieces. I
pieces.
picked up
Yeah,
pieces.
yeah, yeah,
But to a
yeah.
little boy, what does that mean? And we already
Yeah.
know how unreliable his memory is.
Agreed.
And you asked
100%.
inside him, I think so. He has no idea.
Absolutely. All right. So those were a few things that we wanted to discuss before we got into our, main topic, which is episode 2. And Brian, I'm gonna let you take the lead because you said you figured or you found something. So go ahead.
No, so I definitely, the first thing was definitely that Ethan thing. I thought that Ethan is a story walker. Ethan, when during the seizure, when they had to hold him down, the same thing that we saw from Julie. So having that seizure. So being in Fromville, having that seizure made me think that Ethan is definitely was the first story walker. He got out, and that's how he knew so much stuff. That has to be it has to be that way.
Absolutely. So let's see if we can find that part real quick so we can give you a little context. I believe it's here. See what we got.
Now it's gonna hurt a lot. So we need
Oh, this is
to
when they're pulling it out. So
Yeah.
this is so go maybe like
Back, right?
10 minutes in.
I know there's another scene.
Yeah, before. So they run in there. Even
Is it here? So this is when he's telling him about the talisman. There it is.
so that's when they look at each other. Like they
Yeah.
had something that happened with these seizures before. Like this is
Mhm.
something that has happened in Fromville. They
Yes.
knew something when he said seizure. Oh, it's not something new. They looked at each other like, wow, like they've seen this thing happen before. So this just means to me that he was definitely story walking, that he was going through this stuff. He was the first one as soon as he came in.
So that's another thing put on the board. How many people have had seizures in this town, Brian? So right now we have Ethan. I also know Elgin had one too. And if we forgot anybody, chat, let us know. Let us know who you think in this or who you remember in this town having seizure, because those are only two I can think of right now.
And then Julie, of course.
Yeah, Julie, right. Julie had her seizures as well. So maybe the seizures mean something. It may not mean that they are reincarnated, but it also could mean that they're just very important to the story. You know what I mean? And that would definitely be interesting. So while Brian writes that down, we're gonna go to right after he has the seizures, and then he
Sarah.
tells the
Sarah.
story. Sarah too. Yeah, Sarah too. Here it is. Here it is. So let's get to this one real quick. When Ethan. So pause right there. Lake of Tears. What's the Lake of Tears?
So that's the drawing. How did you? And that wasn't. I don't believe it's Victor's drawing. I do believe. Whose drawing was that? The future.
Yeah.
We were all in the drawings.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
he went to the future.
He's seen the future. Yeah, he's seen the future because he ends up seeing. You can see all the pictures on the wall that he's talking about, which is in Victor's room. But now this is going to ask the question: how is he connected to Victor? Right? Because now that we see this and we see what happens, there's a connection between him and Victor, which makes me think again the theory that he's supposed to be this Victor, right? Because Victor survived the last massacre. So I
Mm-hmm.
think he's supposed to take that place and be the one to actually take Victor's place and be the one to survive if they don't stop the trend. What do you think?
I think we're looking at Ethan and Victor, and I think Ethan's going to be more important. I think Ethan's going to end up being more connected to more like the man in yellow or the boy in white, or he's the Christ figure of, quote unquote Christ figure, the one who's going to save us all. And that's why the monsters are so hell bent on getting him, kill the boy. Also, I do still think it has to do with with Ethan. I think something about him is good.
About Ethan?
Yeah, I think everyone's thinking he's going to be evil. I think something's going to be about him that's good.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be evil too. I don't know. It's just hard to see him turning into evil, especially when I think a lot of us think that, and again, this is just a theory that we have, but a lot of us think that Jade may end up going down the path that Christopher
Christopher
did,
did.
to where he doesn't believe what's going on, and maybe something happens where he tries something and then no, it doesn't work, and it's like, oh, everything is a lie, and he may go down that path, right? So if he does go down that path, then I think Ethan is going, like you said, he's not going to be the bad guy too. He's going to be, do something that's going to be good. So I agree with you on that. I don't know who it was. Have to wait to find out. Okay.
Mm.
I picked up pieces. She was so little. Okay, I picked up pieces. She was so
Pieces. She
little.
was
That's
so
what.
little, yeah, but that doesn't mean
Yeah,
like his body pieces because he's little.
right. So you think everyone that has seizure is story walking? I don't know about story walking, but I do believe. Ooh, that could be
I think
interesting.
it is
No,
story walking, but I think that
yeah.
sometimes you see the past and sometimes you see the future. But if you go in the future, you can't change it because it hasn't happened yet. And if you go in the past, maybe Julie can change it because, like, things you can always say they already did happen. So the
Hmm.
future's not guaranteed. So you can't change it. You don't know what's going to happen, because it might not ever get to this point. So
And you
you
know
might
what,
change something,
common
but it might never get there.
right? And you know what, common uncle, this kind of makes sense, right? Because we found out when Elgin had the seizures, he knew that he's seen the town before. He was like, oh, I we gotta go, we gotta get out of here. So yeah, it could be definitely story walking. I think Julie may be the main story walker, but it's possible that the rest of them have been story walking as well too. I agree. Ethan looked like he was indeed story walking, saying that he saw them in Victor's room and the spider came down and everyone was there, even Jim. Yeah, we're gonna
But
talk.
he was
Yeah,
there in the picture, right? So
yes,
all of them were like drawn in the picture. So that means it's something that Victor didn't want to forget.
absolutely. And we get the rest of it. He says,
Mom and Julie, because the spider came down from the ceiling.
so we haven't seen the spider yet that came down from the ceiling yet, and I think it may have looked like a spider. What I think it is that black. You see, okay, let's go to the picture.
Oh, okay, okay,
Let's
okay.
let's let's go to the picture. Hold on, let me bring it back because the freaking music is gonna.
Yeah, yeah, mute that.
So let me just mute the music real quick, guys. Give me a second.
Will I be pretty? Will
All right, where is it? Where is it? There. I think it's that.
The boogeyman. So the
Yeah.
boogeyman's coming back. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's that. I don't think it's an actual spider. I think they maybe thought it was a spider, but we did have the spider webs, and that never really kind of got into anything yet. So that could be a possibility. But I think he might have thought the spider was the boogeyman coming down or whatever, the man, which is, I believe this is the man in yellow's true form. This
Hmm.
here,
I just thought we saw spiders before
we did, we did.
in one of the drawings. Like I thought.
I don't know about in the drawings. Hold on,
Hit
let's
play.
watch. Yeah, I will. Let's watch it and see because I know it's the same as yesterday, last week.
kiss her?
It could be evil. It could just be evil coming down spinal. And that's how
Right.
they know what's going on in all the houses. It could be any of those things.
Absolutely. 100%. Right. But it's going to be interesting because to be honest with you, I ain't going to be mad if we see like a huge spider or something. You know what I mean? Maybe the entity can turn into a spider. I don't know. It's just going to be very interesting to see because we did have that
All those
episode.
webs.
Yes, yes. And then Boyd had that issue with the spider. Spider bit him, and they look kind of like baby spiders. And I don't believe they are the ones that did all of that webbing stuff. So it's definitely possible that there could be a huge spider in there. It's just for a TV budget. I kind of find it, like that's a CGI spider going to take up a huge budget. So interesting. So you think everybody was down? I agree. Ethan looked like he was indeed story walk. Okay, we got to that one. I saw people theorizing that Eloise might have become one story walker also. It's definitely a possibility.
Oh,
Go ahead.
100%. I can see that. Sarah
Yeah.
has seizures too, so I got that down.
What's up, Noir? Yes, she did. Thank you, man. Boy, tell Ellis that Lauren and Megan Pratt died,
I
and he
remember
said Lauren was the one that,
that.
and Ellis stopped him. Lauren was the one that, what, Boyd? What did she do? Exactly.
They
We
had
talked.
seizures too. Yeah.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. And so that was a little girl there. So it's possible that there might have been a little girl when Ethan was growing up too. There might have been other kids in there. We just don't know yet, right? So Sarah has Caesar, Sarah, Ethan, Julie, Ethan. I think that's it. I think. Okay, got you. Got you.
Yeah.
There's a drawing of a lake of tears. It was on Victor's drawings, but it could have been Eloise drawing it too.
100% because Victor doesn't even know how many of the drawings he actually did himself because Eloise could have made a lot of those drawings.
I agree. I agree. Does Ethan say Victor's name? Because he hasn't met with Victor in that scene yet. No, he doesn't say his name.
Yeah,
He doesn't
because
say his name.
he's never even met him yet because he hasn't been out of the RV yet.
Yeah, exactly. And From's opening says the future is not ours to see. Yeah,
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
yeah. But whose is it to see? Is it Julie's? Is it this? You know what? And I do say that because we talked about that last week that we did break down the song a little bit, but I don't think we talked about that line. That's interesting. What do you think about that? The future is not ours to see, Brian.
I think that's a really important thing. I think that's something we're going to find out that you don't know what the future is because the future can change. I think that's I could keep on saying the future can change. So you can't worry about the future because it's not guaranteed to be that way still.
Hmm. So do you think Ethan is wrong, and you think Julie can actually change what happens?
I think that she's going to do it enough that she's going to be able to do it to actually change it. But I think that he thinks you can't change it. But
I
I think
agree.
that she's going to be able to change one thing. If this all you gotta do is change one thing, or it never was changed. Maybe it already happened, just like the boy
Hmm.
getting the rope. Well, it's not like she went to the past and changed the past. No, she was always the one who did it. We just didn't see
Yeah,
it from that point of view. So
yeah,
once again, she does something. Maybe that already happened. We just didn't see it from that point of view.
yeah. That's definitely a possibility. 100%. I agree with you because when that scene happened, it was like, oh, who threw the rope down to Boyd if the dude is chained up there, right? And then we get Julie's point of view. So I 100% believe that we've seen some things from a point of view, and then we're gonna end up seeing it from a different point of view. Maybe Julie's point of view, why she's trying to go back in time to change things. You know,
Hmm.
very reminiscent of Dorothy at the end of Wizard of Oz. You were there, and you were there. Exactly.
Etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Um, we've seen the spiders in the drawing. Okay, so the spiders are in the drawings. Okay, there's spiders drawings. Okay. Guys, tell me where the spider drawings are. Then are they in the intro, or did we see it somewhere else?
It's
Spiders
probably
attack boys.
in Victor's room.
Yeah, spiders attack Void. Yeah, I remember that. I remember they attacked him, and that's why I said even when they got to that place, like everything was like covered in spider webs. I don't think it was all them little spiders that did it. I think there was maybe one huge spider, and those were the baby spiders. So when Abby called him,
Right.
when Boyd was with Sarah in the forest, I got you. Dream Warriors. Not that picture. I've seen a picture on Reddit that shows a picture of a spider in the sky. Okay,
Mm.
okay. Yes, there's drawings of the spiders. Yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you guys for confirming that with me. I wasn't too 100% sure about the
Where
spiders.
was it?
Yeah, that's the question is where were they, right? So, but hey, we're gonna break these episodes down. We'll come up with it. We'll find it. That's why people are saying the noises in the cabin is a giant
Giant
spider,
spider.
and who moved the tent could have been the spider. I don't think it's that, but it could be. You know what? Maybe the tent part. I could give you the tent part, right? Because it moved, but it moved him towards the tower, right? He was able to see the tower at that time. So, interesting. What are your thoughts, Brian?
I think that a lot of the stuff is made of nightmares. All Fromville is made of nightmares, right? So people are afraid, deathly afraid of spiders. So I don't not think that spiders, a giant spider, could be a thing.
You don't think it's going to be a
I think
thing?
it could definitely be a thing because I
Oh,
mean, I think it's something that even if the guy's right and Ethan is bringing up his own fears, those are fears that people normally have.
absolutely. Apparently, the Matthew families are the replacements of the Pratt family, right? They arrived the day after Lauren and Megan died. You know what? That could be a possibility too, because the father was, and if you check on it, you see the similarities, right? The father for the Pratt family, he was always out, he was always drinking. You know what I mean? It seemed like the relationship with his wife wasn't that great.
But that sounds
Probably
like Jim's
was
father.
Jim's father. Oh,
Remember,
the
Jim
drinking
Jim
part.
says,
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't drink,
yeah, yeah,
because my
yeah.
father would do that. He'll leave my family, he'll leave the family all the time. So I'm the opposite of that. So I won't drink anything.
Interesting. Very interesting. So maybe Lauren had Tabitha's role of Miranda. I don't know. I'm lost now. Um, I don't think she did, right? Because then at the end of the day, if Tabitha is Miranda reincarnated, then it can't be Lauren because Tabitha was born when Lauren was born too, right?
Yeah.
So she may have had a role in there. I'm just not sure it was actually Miranda's role.
But
And
think about what would drive a man to go drink in this crazy town and not be with his family.
you're married, you can tell us.
Well, so I'm telling you, it would be like your wife telling you crazy things and you can't explain it, right? So she's
Uh-huh.
telling you this stuff. You're already stuck here, and she's telling you, I see this, and you can't explain it. So he goes out drinking because he just can't handle what's going on. I
Yeah,
mentally can't handle it. So
yes,
maybe
I
she did see stuff. Maybe she did see, she was a dream walker and saw that, and he couldn't handle it, and that's why he
yes. You
stayed
see,
away from the house.
that's what I would go more with is that she was a dream walker and not that she because remember, like we said, there are people that have had seizures. We don't maybe she did have a seizure. Maybe that's why Boyd stopped him from or Ella stopped from saying it so that we wouldn't put that connection together at that time that seizures mean something, right? So that's interesting. I don't think Julie will be able to change, but she will be the origin of something. What she is going to do already happened. Maybe the ritual itself was maybe by future people. Ooh,
Or the people that talk to the children, tell them to have that hope is Julie. Julie's the one
yeah,
telling the kids. She's trying to save them. She can't save them because she can't change anything. But she's the one that gave them that story. But since we already knew from the beginning that someone told the kids a story to give them that hope, she's the one who actually did it. But it already happened.
you know what? I'm gonna actually go with that. I was thinking that it was maybe Prime Miranda or Prime Tabitha, but no, you know what? It makes more sense that it would be Julie, right? That she would be going back in time, which would make them make the tree, right? Which would make them make the fire tree and everything. So what you're saying is that Julie going back and maybe not changing something,
Since
but
it already
actually,
happened, she did
yes,
something that already happened.
yes,
Just like the
yes,
boy thing. She didn't
yes,
go back and change anything. She did something that already happened. She already went back and then was able to do that.
yes, 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 yes. That makes more sense, right? That definitely does. I love a good montage. I need montage of Julie trying to save Jim and him getting killed over and over again. You know what?
That's supernatural. That happens. That's the saying when the was a Groundhog's Day episode goes back over and over, and Dean gets
Yes.
getting killed over and over again.
And it's funny because I do think that we're going to see her try over and over again, but I don't think it's going to be like because when she gets there, she says, "Oh, I think this is it." So it's obviously that she's tried to get to that time. So we're going to
Multiple
see her
times.
go through one time, you know what I mean? And something's going to happen there. And we're going to find out that a lot of the things from Julie's perspective, we're like, oh, Julie had something to do with that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just like, and I think that Boyd thing was a hint to that. So yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. Julie can't change the past. She will learn things in the past that will help her in the present. So I agree, but that means Jim. is completely dead. There's no bringing Jim back, right?
Which I
Because
think Jim is dead, but if Julie can't change the past, but she already did something, it's okay because Boy wouldn't have been out there without Julie already throwing the rope. Like it already happened. She actually went back there and she already did it. So if it was something that actually happened already, she's not changing it. She's just going through the motions that already happened.
absolutely, I agree with you. I have the spider drawing posted in Discord.
Oh,
Cool. Feeling checked out today. If it was a hive mind, I don't think I would put. I got you, Jack.
I got you. I understand.
Do you guys think the lighthouse and the tower where the kids were locked are the same building? I don't think so. Tabitha was told to save the kids locked in the tower, but she went to a lighthouse. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't think they're in the same place either, right? I think the tower
Is the
was
way out. I think I think the lighthouse is the way out. The tower is
lighthouse
probably on
there.
the other side of the town, and then once you get that, you have to try to get to the lighthouse, but you're not going to ever be able to do that, and that's not going to be the point anymore. They're going to realize that save the kids is not going to be them. Save the kids are going to be Ethan and Julie.
And I agree with you. I just don't know about you know them pushing someone out of a window of the to get to the regular time. But I do agree with you that because the boy in white says, you know, pushes him on, says something. I can't remember what he says, like it has to be done or I'm sorry or something like that, right? Which brought her to Real Town, which brought in Harry. I think that was a hint to show her that this tower is how you guys get out of this town, right? So that would be interesting because I don't think they're just gonna solve it and be able to like just drive out the town at the end. I don't know.
It's not going to be a happy ending.
Yeah,
The more and
yeah.
more I get through it, the more I realize I think it's going. Nikisha's probably right. It's probably going to be a kid, Ethan getting up, walking outside, and everyone's dead. But how about this? What if I told you that Christopher is the reason why everyone's dead in that town during that time?
Okay, so go ahead, explain.
So the idea that Miranda wanted to keep her kids away from Christopher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because Christopher was going through something real tough and a lot of stuff was happening, so she was afraid of him. And then that night, what she's trying to go save, Christopher doesn't believe the boy in white so much that he decides, you know what? I'm going to prove you right. I'm going to let the monsters in. And he's the reason why everyone gets killed. He tells the monsters where everyone is, and everyone dies because of Christopher. And I think that the same thing might even happen with Jade. Jade gets so frustrated that he's like, you know what? I'm tired of this, and everyone's going to die because of Jade. And then somehow they stop it.
You know what? I'm right there with you. I do think 100% it was the man in yellow that wiped out the town, but because Christopher didn't do what he was supposed to do, maybe he got on to that Abby vibe, right? And maybe not wanting to go and kill everybody, but oh, this is all a dream and people need to die for us to wake up or something like that. Something's going to make him think that whatever he's doing is not going to matter. And I
He's
agree.
just going to be manipulated by the town. The town is eventually going to win. And, because the boy was trying to tell him all this stuff, and it's going to break him. And the super rational person gets broken, and that's how they die. And everyone dies because of it.
I agree 100%. You make a lot of sense in that. I believe the tower is the building in the ruins next to the cellar.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe they only get the reincarnation role when they enter Fromville, explaining Laura having the same role as Tabitha. I don't know. So what you're saying, it's okay. So that
She's
kind
got
of
a spirit.
right. No, but that kind of I could see where you're going with on that.
But Tabitha had a dream. She had this when she was a little girl. So like she was always connected to her.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. So it kind of, I understand what you're saying, which would be interesting if they did that. But because we know that Tabitha's been having these dreams as a little girl, then it shows that, like you said, Brian said, is she's always been connected. I kind of understand how the writers had Tabitha in Miranda's house, touching her drawing, sleeping there, looking at pictures of her family, and she didn't got any flashbacks of her being Miranda. So I too, as much as I understand it, like I too have issues with certain things because it wasn't the first time she touched Victor either. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden she touches him and she has these
But she
flashbacks.
wasn't in
Like,
Fromville. when she doing that.
Well, when she touched
Was-
Victor, she was for the first time. She was. But I know what you're saying
Mm.
about the pictures and stuff when she was sleeping in the house. Yeah, she wasn't in Fromville, so she probably didn't have the flashbacks there. But I just think there were so many other times that she could have had flashbacks. I don't know. What do you think?
I agree that she could have had it, but I think that there's a connection to Fromville, along with the whole idea with Henry being there, and then Victor, and all the, like, the further she went in, the more she realized it. The further they got into the mystery, the more that their awakening came. The more they unraveled the mystery, the more the awakening happened. So she was able to accept it.
Absolutely. Said I doubt a Kamanaka. I think Tabitha and Jade were reincarnated before they ended up in Firmville. And the reason they ended up in Firmville is because they're already reincarnated. Yeah,
That's why they
100%.
came at
Because
the same time. That's
yeah,
the same time.
Jade even said, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what, you were destined to come here. And now we find out that Jade was destined to be there too. What if who told the kids a story was the one that told Christopher a story? The boy in white, Ethan's story, walked and told the story. Ethan is good with stories. Equals Ethan. I'm honestly, I'm more along the lines of it being Julie. I think that makes more sense, especially with the fact that I think that Julie has been, or we're going to see next season, is that she's going to keep trying and
Mhm.
trying to get back to that point, and she's going to reach certain points in time where she's not going to change anything, but she's going to give like inspirations or talks or something like that.
This might be a weird question. Who the hell cut her hair?
I know, right?
Who gave her the bob? Like, who did that? Like, I want to know. Like, is there a barber now? Like, a barber came to town, or did she get out and she didn't like the answer, so she went back and then tried to figure out the answer? Like, I want to know who actually cut her hair,
Me
because
too.
if we see anything, we can see that they don't have any good barbers out there to give you, party in the front, business in the back or something. It's they have terrible hair. Everyone does. So I don't know who gave her that perfect bob. I just want to say, like, yeah, did you get back into the real world? How did that happen?
Facts. Carmen Uncle said it's funny. Victor started to remember while Ethan started to forget last conversation he had with Julie. The Spider
Oh,
Drawings is in season 2 when Tabitha, Ethan, Julie are playing that game of what would be the first thing you would do if you escape from somewhere. Okay, all right, got you. Well, we're definitely gonna get to season 2 after we get to season 1 for sure. So make sure you write that down, Brian. The
that's
spider for season
that.
2.
Yep.
What up, brother? How you doing? Thank you for popping in. Much appreciated. Always pleasure. I think Tabitha only got out because she wasn't actually trying to escape. She wanted to find the kids and save them. Dale, on the other hand, wanted out. Maybe that's why she went out and not him. Um, well, again, Tabitha didn't really go out through the tree, right?
Mm.
Tabitha went through the faraway tree, got to the lighthouse, and then got pushed out of a window, right? Dale was just not, he's not the chosen one. He was not ever supposed to be going in that tree.
Didn't Victor always say this? The one bottle tree, if you go through here, always took him to the
Yes,
lighthouse.
yes,
Always took him to the lighthouse. So
yes.
it had everything to do with Dale.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Boy in White says, I'm sorry, this is the only way.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate it. Christopher turned mad or was manipulated. Yes, Jade will end up like him and like all of his past versions. OG, One Eye, Brock in the Cellar, Civil War guy, etc. I agree with you
Mm-hmm.
100%. Right, and that's where I'm saying, like, I'm not, and Nikisha said it first, but she was like, I don't think the show's gonna have a good ending, and I'm right. I agree with you. I don't think it's gonna have a good ending either. I think
I,
I,
I
yeah,
wonder
yeah. Go
who's
ahead, Brian.
going to protect the Matthews family from Jade, because the one thing that was said, Jim said, like, I feel like you're the only one that can protect my family, but who's going to protect that family from him?
Hmm.
I'm not sure that Jade is a good person, a good entity at all.
Facts.
I think the reason why their kids were caught is because of Jade. I 100% believe that in the past it was still Jade's character that got the kids caught up and
Mm.
tried to change his mind in the last second.
Ooh, that's interesting. And I think you may be right. And it would make sense that if Tabitha started to remember that it was actually Jade's idea, right, to bring the kid there, and then, like you said, change his mind or something like that,
Mhm.
and that's when like when he tried to save it was too late,
Yep.
and maybe Tabitha doesn't find that out until
Until
later,
later.
right? She only finds out that it was Jade, the reason why her daughter was even put in that situation. Ooh,
And then Miranda remembered that about Christopher. That's why she hid her kids away from Jade. I mean, from Christopher. Miranda
ooh,
hid the kids away from him because he already did it. Stay away from my children because I know what you did to do with children. I know what you did with our children.
that's gonna be interesting. Let's see here. I'm going to love when Jade turns man because I saw a lot of people trash talking Jim and praising the drug alcoholic Jade. That's funny.
I think it's gonna happen. Yeah, I
But
think so too. Oh,
because I'm right there with you. Like, so for an example, I think that we're not watching this show for a conclusion of a happy ending. We're watching what keeps happening over and over and over again. We're just seeing it from maybe the 10th perspective, right? So it's not going to end to where it's going to be like, hey, they save everybody and everybody gets out. No, it's going to end with Ethan coming out of that cellar and everybody dead.
yep. And him
And the
going through
cycles,
the same thing, and then
same
you'll see
thing
him
that,
grow older, and then you start seeing cars coming back through, and you
yes.
realize this is going to happen forever.
Yes,
The end.
yes, 100%. I agree with you 100%. I really don't think that it's going to end in a happy ending. I don't know. Tabitha's dream might be just a memory of the soul slash spirit. Now it seems like
But it
she
looked like her.
really, it did look like her too.
And she said she looked at her. She was like, "This is me as a little girl." So
Yeah,
that's why,
she
like,
thought it was her.
Tabitha
Yeah,
didn't think it was like Miranda. Oh, I saw a dream of a little girl when I was a little
yeah,
girl. She said it was me when I was a little
yeah.
girl.
Yeah, absolutely. Tabitha later touched Victor right at the bottle tree. Last place Miranda was alive, and she didn't get any flashback. That's a fail for me. Sorry, writers. You know what?
I'm not
Kramanako,
disagreeing.
I was right there with you, 100%. I think that's the first thing I said when we watched the watch party. I was like, but it's not the first time she touched him, so why all of a sudden now, right? And I get it, story-wise, you have to progress, so there has to be, but they should have never made them touch.
Yeah.
That's what they should have never made her touch Victor at any point until,
Or anytime she touched them, she jumps back.
yeah,
Something like that to that
yeah,
effect.
where she feels something, but she could never understand what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're watching it, you can still see the motherly kind of, way she was going on with Victor. So I think with that being said, you can kind of get of an idea, and then you're just pushing that narrative, and then she finally touches him, and then boom, it's like, oh, okay, that's why she always had this motherly connection to Victor. So I
Mhm.
agree with you. I think they could have done it a little bit better. My main thought now is that there were 8 kids originally to be sacrificed, but OG Jade Tabitha saved one, making it 7. What if the 8th kid is the boy in white? I've had that kind of theory too. I had that too.
I don't think Jade is going to be part of that. I don't think that he's part of it. I think he wants to do it, and something always happens, and it drives him mad. He's not going to be part of it. I think it's Tabitha.
Yeah, I agree. Said I think the future is not for us to see, and if we do, there will be consequences. Well, the man in black said,
As we
man in
said.
white, yellow said, knowledge is consequences, right? So what else did you have, Brian?
That was the main thing. It was that in the whole thing with the Julie at the house, and the way that she looked at him, and that she almost like she was remembering what was going on, and seeing him. I
Hmm.
thought that was really interesting. So why would she act that way? Why would she? Because she's scared out of her mind. They're running in this flash flood of rain and everything. And why would she be willing to go towards it after the things that she's already seen? You already know that they're coming after her.
So here's the scene. The way she looks at him is like she actually knows who this
She
person is.
knows who he is exactly.
And he knows who she is because he says, Julie, don't you recognize me? So he may not know. Ooh,
See, but that's when they make. She's a dream walker, right? So she's going back and back and forth, back and forth. maybe they remember her. Maybe he remembers her.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I was wondering, I'm like, wait a minute, how could this be? Maybe Dreamwalker, Julie, when she goes back in time, right? Because, like you said, time is not linear. So she could have spent maybe a year getting to know this guy before he turned into a creature or something like that. You know what I mean?
Or she got into a point where she thought she was going to die and he saved her. He's a monster, but he saves her.
Ooh, why would he do that though?
Because maybe he's tired of this living.
Huh.
And another thing is, he's a teenager.
hmm
Those other people were adults, right? All the other people were adults with kids. He's a
Yeah,
teenager. Something about him is different.
I agree.
We know the
I,
story of how they became monsters, and none of those stories were they were all parents.
hmm
So why is he different?
Yeah, that's true. That's an interesting. That's an interest because we already know that it was the seven parents, right, on both sides,
So that's
seven and 10.
14.
Yeah, and they all turned into creatures. So where the rest of them come from,
So where did
right?
where did this boy come from? Who
Yeah.
is this boy?
Hmm.
And the boy
Mi-
in white is not a boy. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No. No.
Just
One
throwing
hundred
it out
percent.
there.
No,
So
I
the
agree
boy's
with
not
you.
a white's not a boy. What if the boy in white's a monster? Maybe this is just a way that he can, be out there. There's a lot of things out there, but I think this is going to be one of those things that we're going to look back on and realize episode 2 showed us a whole hell of a lot of crap.
Yeah. 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 This moment here is going to be something that comes back. I promise you that, right? This is a huge question, right? How do you know Julie? Julie just got there. How do you know that's Julie? Now, why is Julie looking at him as she knows him? Now, maybe she's just like freaking out or whatever. I could see that. But the point of him knowing her name, we also have Martin in the tower knowing
Oh,
Julie's
and
name.
Julie.
So those are two moments of people who know who Julie is, and we don't know why yet.
Mhm.
And I do think that she's gonna be traveling back. We're gonna get to a certain situation where maybe she meets him in a town where he's an actually human boy. He dies, and it's just one of the creatures taking his form. You know what I
I
mean?
like it. I like it. I think there's another way to add more people to the monsters, but he was
hmm
not there. Also in the circle, I looked. I went and
hmm
looked. I promise you, he was
hmm
not there.
And he's never been seen again.
Exactly.
Oh, maybe
And
he's
then
one of the
two.
manifestations. No, no, he couldn't be because he gets shot, right? And I think they did a good job because that shows us. Well, we don't know if anything can happen to them, like Father Kotri or the bartender guy or anything like that. We don't know if anything can be happened to them, but it seemed like those are projections from their mind. Which I was like, okay, just now I was like, maybe this was a projection from her mind, but Kenny shoots him,
Yeah.
so he's obviously not a projection.
He's obviously a monster, but that means that there's multiple types of monsters then. So
hmm
we have these main monsters that we saw in the circle, but are there other monsters there that have been existing and been created throughout this time? So I just think that that's a big question that when remember you said the show owners writer said the more we understand about the monsters, the more we understand the show. And I
hmm
think this is one of those points where we need to be able to understand this.
I agree 100%. And this was one thing that always stood out for me, right? It wasn't just like, oh, watch it. Even the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, that's interesting. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it always stuck out. And this is one thing that we've never gotten any kind of clue or answer to. And it seems like they didn't even show this guy again. So they wanted us to forget about this moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, guys, don't forget about this moment. I think they even wanted us to forget about the Boyd moment too with the rope because for the whole season, after he got out, you know what I mean? We got out the first
They're
episode.
in the writer room trying to figure out how the hell we gonna make this happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like the first episode of season 2 is when he gets out of that hole. and there's never any even talk about who gave him the rope or how he got the rope. Even when he gets on talks to Martin, there's never any talk about that. So that was one of the things they wanted to just throw in there and make you forget. And I believe this is something else that they want you to forget about. Maybe that was future Julie that had gotten out of Fromville, and that's why she has a new hairstyle. I just believe she's going through the teenage phase. That's all. Interesting.
Yeah, but
She could have.
how's she gonna go through a teenage phase? I mean, who's going to cut her hair? Who's going to do all these things? I mean, you can't cut up your own hair in a perfect bob, right? Can you? I don't know. I can't cut my hair. I got my dreads. I mean, I can't do that myself.
Maybe that she can. I don't know. You know what I mean? I
Just
don't
try
have
and try and
an
just wait.
alarm for it. Yeah, just grab it and trip, trip, snip it out. Mary got the cicada stuff. We see her drawing. We see her drawing of Smiley in the clinic at. We see her dreaming of Smiley at the clinic at them. Was the story walking also? Smiley is alive now. Maybe he will enter the clinic one day. Ooh,
That's good,
that's
crime knock.
you know what? That's an interesting thought too, because even in this season, like I thought Rondo was gonna do something and open up that clinic door and let these creatures in or something like that, which I don't believe that's the case anymore. I don't think he would do that, but I definitely, yeah, I could definitely see them getting into the clinic 100%. Because I think the man in yellow is a game changer.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The man in yellow being there is a game changer. And we don't know how this game is going to change in season three, but season four,
Or
sorry. But it is going to be a game changer. One, this dude, I said on the stream like I was like, yo, this dude's out in the daytime. That's a problem.
I think the town's going to turn on Boyd too. The whole first half of the season 4, I think the town's going to turn off on Boyd, and then once someone dies, someone important dies,
They're going
they're
to
going to
run
say
back to
they're going to
Boyd.
run back to him.
Mhm. I
Run back.
think,
Help us.
yes, yes, I think you're right. And I think not only are they going to turn to Boyd, I think they're going to turn to Acosta and they're going to realize that Acosta is no Boyd and they're going to run back to Boyd. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And
Yep.
I believe that. And I think Boyd is going to do what he can before his Parkinson's gets worse because the fact that they showed the Parkinson stuff
Mhm.
again,
It has to come back. It has to
yeah,
mean something.
yeah, it's definitely going to mean something. That's probably he's going to maybe he knows that it's not going to be cured and that's why he decides to sacrifice himself to let everybody go because he knows the Parkinson's going to kill him anyways. So I didn't why didn't Henry tell Victor that it wasn't his fault, that his mother had been having those dreams because about the child the way before they told her the story about the boy in white shared. um I don't think he didn't really explain everything to him, but he did tell him like, listen, it's not your fault. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He did kind of explain stuff. So I think in season 4, I think they're gonna have more of a conversation, right? And again I say this because people started talking at the end of this season and things started happening. So hopefully they realize if we just talk a little bit more, then we can actually figure things out. Because when Jade actually tells Boyd, like, hey, listen, I figured out what this was. I tried to bring it to you and you didn't listen. Boyd's gonna be like, okay, you know what?
You're right.
Maybe I'll start listening. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
should have listened. I should have listened. Because it's not the first time Boyd brushed off something they said. When Jim tried to tell him about the voices, something came up, brushed it off too. You know what I
I
mean? And
mean, what
then this
Costa
was
said,
Jade.
hey, if you want to keep the town together, give them something else to do. That was a really
Mhm.
good idea, but you just kind of brushed it off.
Carmen Uncle said, Brian, who's gonna protect that family from Jade? That's on point. Yeah, Brian is trust me, Brian is on point as well too. You know what I mean? Um, to be honest, I think Julie was story walking to save Jim because Jade turns mad and she's trying to save Jim so that Jim can stop Jade from turning mad.
I don't think the
Ooh,
monsters would scratched her face. I believe it's Jade that was trying to
ooh,
grab at her and scratched her face, and she ran.
huh, that's interesting. You know what? It would make sense because if one of the monsters is that close to Julie, she's dead.
This one kill her. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So she has a scratch on her face. She doesn't tell us why. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it could have been someone else that did that. Guys, we coming up with some ish tonight. All right, M- click it, mark it down, and whenever if we're right, we're wrong, come back to us and be like, hey, you guys said this about blah blah, and you were right, or you guys were wrong. But yeah, I think
I
we're
think it's
definitely
you
coming
guys
up with
that,
something.
we're coming up with ideas, but I think it's all of us talking about it. I think that's what you have to do when you really you have a stream of thought, but it's like when you can really talk it out with someone else who understands the exact same thing you understand, you
Hmm.
can figure out where we should go. And I think some of the stuff is so good that the writers might hear it and be like, "Oh yeah, that's a good ass idea."
Facts, 100%, 100%. Because they watch these streams, right? They may not watch ours. Hopefully, they do,
Yeah.
but they definitely watch these streams, right? And I think they watch the internet and what people are saying about the show and stuff like that. So good job to them, 100%. Because I'd probably be doing the same thing if it was my show. I'd be in social media trying to figure out. I'd have a burner account, and I would be like, "Oh my god, this episode was so good, guys!" Like I would be picking it up. You would be like,
I be
not
giving them
even
hints all the
noticing.
time. Like, yeah, you
Hmm.
might be right.
Hmm.
James Dean over there that look at her, he's laughing at her because he knows. He
One
knows
hundred
something.
percent. Yeah, From won't have a sad ending. I just don't think it will end with young Ethan coming out of a massacre, because the actor is growing way too fast to have that film. You know what? I can understand that. I do. And again, at the same time, but it also depends on how many seasons they have, right? So
Five,
yeah,
maybe
if they
five.
do if they do 5 seasons, and I know that's 2 years, that kid could shoot up in 2 years as well.
He'll be the
But I
man
also
and Ethan.
right. But I also think that if they want to keep it that way, maybe they should film these 2 seasons back to back.
Or they
You know
just
what I
film
mean?
that one scene. They know they want
Yeah.
to end of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
scene.
Yeah,
They,
yeah,
f-
yeah,
they
yeah.
film that at the beginning,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then all this stuff goes through, and that's all they really want to, get to.
Shit. They maybe have filmed it already, right?
They might
They
know,
could they
and
could have.
they might have filmed it the second episode. They might
Yeah,
already
yeah.
filmed it like this is where we want to
Yeah, yeah.
end.
Yeah, yeah. Which would kind of be weird because you're gonna have a grown up Ethan throughout the
All
show,
you
and
gotta
then
do
you're
is
gonna
go
have a
back.
little kid.
You
Then
go back in time. So Julie learns how to change something in the past, and all it does is make Ethan come out as a young Ethan. No one there. Just
interesting.
repeats.
I don't know. I think the girl on Tabitha's dream was running away from OG Jade, one-eyed dude, and he was drinking blood from a small skull. Get what I'm saying? Maybe he
Yeah.
ended up sacrificing the kid. You know what? Again, and I think there's a reason why we've always because I think Jade is the only one that we've actually seen like multiple visions like that, right? We've seen the guy
Hmm.
with the one eye, guy drinking the skull. We've seen the man crushed with the rock, so they all possibly could be former Jades, and those are how he failed, and he's probably gonna fail again. So I definitely could think. Jax, what are you talking about? Um, I shared your stream on some Discord channel. Hope it's okay. Just got more from. Hey, 100%. I appreciate you doing
Always.
that, brother.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. I'll never get mad at someone sharing out the stream, brother.
Exactly.
Definitely not. um, Here, no, where are we? The boy slashed her face. The last time she saw him was her previous story jump. That boy. Oh, you think this boy slashed her face? Oh, that could be interesting.
That could be something too. Yeah. I
Hmm.
can see that.
Because again, this guy knows who she is. Definitely knows who she is. Also, for people theorizing that Randall is the man in yellow or even Martin, there's an F, um, where the F is on Randall's. Look,
Scar on
where
those
the
guys.
F is Randall's scar on those guys, it's not Randall. No, I agree with you.
I don't
I
think it's
don't think
Randall
it's
either. I think
Randall
Randall's
either.
going to be the reason that Boyd gets back control of the town. I think Randall and Boyd are going to have this moment that's going to bring them back. This redemption arc for their life together. Like it's going to be Randall's. This the reason they get together, and he's probably going
I,
to bring Acosta back to Boyd.
hmm
Like
You
he's
know
going to be on
what?
Acosta's team, and Acosta's going to be like, "What can we do? What can we do?" And Randall's like, "I know what to do," and he brings her to Boyd.
Yeah, that could make sense, especially when you already know like he's like a big skeptic of Boyd now, right now. but he's probably going to come to the conclusion that, you know what, maybe Boyd was right, you know. I think that corpse in the secret room might be Martin's physical body. Maybe town people locked him there due to the worms, and his soul spirit is what is in the dungeon, like Julie, Mari, and Randall. I could see that.
Trapped
I could,
still. Mm.
I could definitely see that. I know at one point I was saying it's possible Jade because of the shirt that they had on there too, but yeah, I don't think it's Jade. That's just a, you know, a possibility or something I threw out there, but it could be Randall's physical body. I agree. Martin's physical body. I agree with that. What do you think, Brian?
I think it could be. I mean, I think it has to do something with the story from before. Like this has happened before. I don't think Smiley being reborn is the first time. So it has to do with that's the first time it happened.
Interesting. I agree. You don't recognize the monster was in that Smiley rebirth scene. Also, that's interesting. He's one of the important ones. He was in the rebirth scene
We
because
have to see.
what's his name said it wasn't. Brian, you said you looked at the
I
scene and
didn't
wasn't
see
it?
him. I looked and I didn't see him in the rebirth scene.
If you find it, bring it up. We'll check it out.
Yep.
We'll definitely look at that. I think Julie went back in time and met that creature. That's why he asked her, "You don't recognize me." I'm more on that tip too, Kramanako. I'm more on the, Julie went back in time, had some kind of interaction with that creature. Maybe that was the creature that was chasing her down or something like that. You know what I mean? So I agree. Um, Also, pay attention to the woman next to the creature with the white dress. Tabitha dreams of her the next episode, and I think it's the same dress that Tabitha found in the tunnels. Ooh,
Mm,
that's interesting. Hold on,
I like
let me
that.
play that. Let me play that.
Oh, you're scared. But are you really going to let those people die?
So we're talking about the woman in the wedding dress, right? That is interesting.
Ooh, wow.
Well, next week we'll be doing episode 3, so we'll definitely be able to check that out for sure. You know, I think Julie was just curious, but the monster saying, "Don't you recognize me?" tells me that he knows her from the past. I agree, 100%. Imagine season 4 starting with Boyd leaving the cellar daytime on his way to the colony house. He looks bad, and the creatures are coming out of the cellar at daytime, at damn daytime.
Ooh.
Ooh,
And they're
yeah.
stuck in their houses now. They can't do anything.
That's Listen, like I said, that that dude in the yellow coming out is a game changer. We don't even know if the talismans will work on him, right? Hopefully
Yep.
they do, because then we're not gonna have a season. You're just gonna walk through the town and kill everybody. Like it'll be one episode, So hopefully the
And you're dead, you're dead, and you're dead.
fact, we just walk into everybody's house and just kill everybody. So I went back and just watched season 3 finale, monster scene, and the young guy monster is there. Okay.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
here
so
I'm actually got it right here.
okay. Jim was right about the song. It means trouble, 100%. Hey Vanessa, how you doing? Thank you for popping in. Much appreciated. And we're gonna show this scene real quick. Let me get this off.
All right. See who it is. To the old man.
Mm-hmm. I know I think that's the woman in the dress right there.
There's the nurse.
There's a nurse, yeah.
I didn't see anyone. I didn't see him there.
I didn't see it either. Was that the beginning of that scene?
Let's see. If I can pull up. I'll stop it right when it comes.
Yeah, just go back to like when Boyd first
Right.
comes in. Yeah, just let it play from there. Pause
There
it.
it's right.
That's perfect.
It's all away. There it is. Okay. Is that the boy you're saying that he's the boy?
Yeah, I think that's him. Yeah, I think that's him.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Smiley makes 12. Right? Am I seeing it right?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I see 10.
And so it's 1, 2,
Yeah.
3,
Okay, I didn't see that guy
4,
there.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Smiley is 12. But there should be
12.
4. So it's the 14, including Tabitha and Jade? Or
Maybe.
maybe that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that would make sense if it includes Tabitha and Jay. They wouldn't be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were probably the ones that they died before. I don't know. It's interesting, right? Because if they were part of the sacrifice, maybe it's because they didn't agree with it, why they didn't turn into creatures and they ended up being reborn all the time. It's going to be interesting to figure out what that means.
Or Jade is the one who, because the male is the head of the family, especially back then, right? So maybe
Mhm.
he said, "This is what we're going to do," and then Tabitha found out, and then she tried to stop him. And then Jade said, "You're right. We should stop it."
I
But
agree.
then that's why they didn't become monsters.
I agree. Said, Daryl Seymour, sorry about Jim. Maybe he isn't. Maybe he really isn't dead.
I've thought about
That's
that for a while, but
me too.
everyone's saying he's dead.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I thought about that too. Um, and if Ethan is right where they can't change anything, then yeah, he's dead. He's dead. But I also think that it's a possibility that he could come back as one of those ghosts to Tabitha,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that he may not be out of the show. I just think he may end up coming like a Father Kotri or the bartender guy, you know. Vanessa, maybe the song activated the level of daytime walking. And here's the thing that's interesting because we're gonna have to find out what that song actually activated, right? Is it just that it brought the Akui kids there? Did it activate the man in yellow? You know what I mean? It probably
Did
didn't
it? What
activate
about
the.
this hatch? They could. No one could open. She couldn't
Mhm.
pull the hatch open. But as soon as the music starts, it
It
opens.
opens. Yeah, I agree. So it could that song could have had a lot of could have done a lot. You know what I mean? It could have done a lot of things that maybe like in sequence. So the hatch opens up, man in yellow comes, and the Cooey kids tell them to remember, right? Again, everything we're seeing that's happening is supposed to happen, right? So them playing the song note and everything is supposed to happen. They just have to figure out how to stop it, which is definitely going to be what the interesting part of the show is. The young monster is at the end, right next to the nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Vanessa, he is dead. He died a hero, my guy. He did absolutely die a hero,
He
brother
did.
Darrell. You know what I mean? And again, we shitted on Jim. I'm not gonna say we didn't, because we shit on him a lot. But when he actually died, it was like, oh shit, they killed
Protecting his
Jim.
family. Protecting his family. He went to the man in yellow with a stick.
Hmm.
Hey, he
Yes,
didn't care.
facts. And they knew exactly what they were doing, right? Because the episode before, we're getting Jim having, actually, this episode, Jim is having conversations with his kids, and he's down for whatever Tabitha wants to do, and it's like, yes, finally Jim is stepping up, and then, sorry guys, we're gonna take him away from you, and that's
Ugh,
exactly what they did. That was a hell of a song that Jade Shore could play. That song played by the guy that has been turning mad on every cycle, supposedly. Trouble's coming. Yes,
I agree. Jade is the
trouble.
bad guy. I wish Julie was here because I wanted to say that to her because she likes Jade so much. That's her favorite character. Like Jade is the bad guy, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Jim will come back either as a dead body or flashbacks, or Tabitha will start seeing him, or Julie will see him in the past and time travel, or in a dream, stuff like that. I agree. I don't think he's done. I think we're definitely going to see him come back, and I do think he might be a vision. And you're right. It might be a vision for Julie, right? I was thinking maybe it was Tabitha, but yeah, it might be a vision for Julie.
And maybe he
Um,
tells her, stop trying to save me
yeah,
and save the town, save your brother. That just
I
sounds like
agree.
a selfless thing that Jim will say. I care more about the family, care about you, than I care about me.
Absolutely. I have to look at the monster scene and find the young boy. He's right there by the light. He's the last one there by the light that I saw.
Right here.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. I'd love to have Ghost Jim haunting Jade next season. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't think he's good. You know what? Maybe he will. Because again, I don't think these ghosts are there to help people, right? I think they're there to stall for time and, put doubt in people's heads and stuff like that. So I think maybe that if that
It's
Jim
still
does come
Jim.
back,
Jim's still I don't think he's gonna be with Jade. No matter what.
yeah,
Jim's gonna be something for one of his kids. Something.
yeah, either one of the kids or with Tabitha, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I think it would be more along your lines, whereas Julie, and he's telling Julie to stop time traveling, trying to convince her not to go back and change certain things. And Julie's going to be like, no, I don't trust you.
So
Or,
I need you. I can't live my life without you, Dad. I need to figure it out. Trust me,
absolutely.
I can do it.
But you know what's funny? Because now that I start thinking with the Jade stuff, right? Maybe it is. That's the reason why Jade stops believing is because Jim Ghost keeps coming to him and telling him to do certain things, and he probably listens, and it messes shit up. You know what I mean? You feel
Why was I blame Jim again, man? Jim is a good guy. Let's not. We gotta put Jim as the bad guy somehow, some way. No, I'm not doing it.
you know what? Yeah, I'm with you. Let's give Jim his flowers. Let's say Jim is gonna be the good guy. You know what I mean? Julie is going to keep trying to change the outcome 100%. And I think her doing that, she's going to go back way too far in the past. She may end up in the future, right? She may do certain things. And that's why we're going to see a lot of the things that we've seen through her perspective, like Brian said. And she's going to be the one that affected certain things from happening. Watch, definitely. From now on, you're fed FF this town. Yeah, facts, 100%. Uh, I think season 4 is Boyd's final season. Nah,
I
Dre.
don't think you'll get rid of Hero because I don't think the show is going to do well. Like you don't want to do that. Like it's like Game of Thrones. What was the worst season? The last season. You don't want to be like Game of Thrones.
Facts. Boyd is broken. Now he saw Smiley get rebirth. Oh boy. Yeah, I know. I know. And I wonder if he's gonna feel threatened by Smiley coming back because it's like, I killed this guy. Now he's gonna want to get me. You know what I mean? And I think Smiley's gonna play a game with Boyd.
I think it's not only the town's going to be afraid of done with Boyd and Costa's going to take over that. I think Boyd's going to be done with the town trying to save everybody. He's going to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna sit back here. I'm gonna let you guys do whatever, and not because he's just over it. He's just over all of this stuff. He's just like, I can't do this anymore. And then it's gonna take half the season for Boyd to wake the hell up and the town to realize we need you.
Yep, absolutely. Maybe they died as humans and got rebirth as creatures like we saw Smiley. Maybe that's how they become monsters in the OG time. So I do think that in the OG time, so let's call it prime time, right? Where originally things happen. I do believe that they were promised eternal life, but they didn't know that being born again or eternal life would come with a curse. And I think this is the curse that they were. So they were tricked into sacrificing their kids, thinking they were going to get eternal life, but the eternal life was a farce. It was, you get eternal life, yes, but you cursed with this demon that can't come out at daytime or anything like that. So I definitely believe that. I think Julie is going to be the talisman for the man in yellow. Ooh, that's going to be interesting.
Or
Interesting.
Ethan, and that's why the town kept on saying you have to kill the boy, kill him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ethan definitely had a lot to do with it, and it's funny because killing the boy would that have what would that have changed, right? You know what I mean? Because it seems like everything is going on a certain path, and killing the boy is probably it's hard to say that it's the boy because I do think that there's something with Ethan. They maybe need to kill Ethan. He has to be that final sacrifice. And I think it was supposed to be Victor at one point, but Victor was helped by the boy in white because if
and
we
now
don't remember,
he's out.
yeah,
So I
huh?
think he has to be a child. I think
Yeah,
to complete this whole thing, 7 children have to be sacrificed,
I agree. I
but it
agree.
had to be a boy,
Yes,
and that's
yes,
why Eloise couldn't be the sacrifice. It had to be a boy.
yes.
And they thought it was gonna be Victor, but Victor's not there. So because the boy in white helped him out. So I think it has
Mhm.
to be Ethan.
I agree. Man in yellow didn't kill Julie. That's interesting. Exactly. Said 52-17. I think that's the mark.
Yes, I have
Absolutely.
52-18, but 15-08. But yeah, same,
Yeah.
almost the same time.
12 creatures, 7 kids. 12 equals 6 kids. Tabitha and Jade had 2 because Tabitha had not only the girl a Kui kid appeared to her, but a boy a Kui also, and they both on Miranda's drawings. It's possible that she did have 2, but I think they only needed to sacrifice the one, right?
Yeah,
Which is the little girl, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they had
the
to
little
kill
girl
both.
had to be sacrificed. We saw her on the rock.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That makes 8 kids. That's why I think there were meant 8 kids for the ritual, but one got saved, breaking the ritual, creating the curse. Yeah,
And that's the boy in
definitely.
white, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. Tabitha and Jade weren't part of the sacrifice. They are being reincarnated because they failed to save the children. Yes, I agree with you 100%. But I also think that Jade might have been the one to cause it and had a self like, oh no, I can't do this, and then
Mhm.
switched it up, right? So,
Seven kids. Seven
yeah.
is supposed to be, and they weren't. So I mean, it would have been 14 adults. That's why you have 12 plus 2, or it's Tabitha and Jade.
Absolutely. They were on the cave drawings of the ritual, 2 saving the kids, but I guess they only managed to save one and got later caught and killed. That's why they got reincarnated over and over again. Yes. And I
And the one
think
they saved is the boy in white.
yes, and I also think that the reason why they got killed, they sacrificed themselves to trap the man in yellow somewhere, right? And that's why he only came out when the music played because this is season 3. He doesn't come out until the end. If he's always there, why? It's because he was trapped, and he was trapped because of their sacrifice, right? And the music was the key to get him out. But it was also possibly a little, maybe like a contingency plan where yes, you play the music that's going to bring the Ankui kids to you because this is the melody that you've played to them, but that music is also going to bring me back, right?
Mm.
And I think that's what keeps happening every time they find out that song and they keep playing it. They were okay. I read that one already. Vanessa said, "If the monsters are now daywalkers, the Fromville people are screwed." You see, I don't.
100%. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think the monsters are going to be daywalkers. I just think it's going to be the man in yellow. You know what I mean? I think the man in yellow is going to be the only one that can be daywalking, and at nighttime, he's going to
Get the
put his crew
monsters.
together. Yeah, absolutely. Do the creatures have reincarnation roles also? Because supposedly they died as humans to become creatures. So I wouldn't say they. Well, I mean, yeah, technically, yeah, because
Because
Maya
they
did
have
die.
forever life. They have
Yeah,
everlasting life. So they just
yeah,
continue to be reincarnated as another monster. They just come
yeah.
back as the same monster.
Yeah, absolutely. That's their curse, right? It's eternal life, right? So if you die, you're gonna come back, you're gonna be reincarnated, but it was the monsters, you know what I mean? So like it's a curse that they had. Tabitha and Jade are soulmates. Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know if they are.
You don't think so? Go
I
ahead.
think some. I think Jade is not going to be the hero. He's going to cause a lot of the problems. I'm telling you, I think Christopher killed all those people. I think he's the
Hmm.
reason why they're killed. Like,
Hmm.
so I don't know if Jade is the this good thing that everyone's saying he is. I think he's going to end up being a problem.
And I agree with you because when you look at all the visions, and if those visions are past lives of Jade, none of them look like they ended properly. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
crushed by a rock, nail in the eye, drinking blood from a skull. You know what? Huh. Now that I think about it, thank you, Karmanaki. You just gave me some. Okay. So when the Kui kid shows up with Tabitha and Jade when they're playing the music. It has a hole in its head, right? So I think it wasn't just about the sacrifice. They had to drink their blood. So they put that hole in their head, drained the blood out, and they drank the blood. And Tabitha and Jade were two of the people that
They
didn't drink
refused.
the blood. Yes, yes. But in one reincarnation, he does drink the blood. And that's one of the views that we see as, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I love the story walking plot that they put on the show. They can show us other cycles with that. Now, I've been, I've always been intrigued with the way Victor interacted with Julie, a newcomer that just arrived. Victor is not the guy to be open with new people. I agree. And we've seen that in this episode, right? Where he goes for the peaches. He's having a conversation with Julie. He even asked her, "What do you think the two cars mean?" And he said
What
it's something special. Yeah.
we're saying, how did Victor last and live through all that time?
Hmm.
What if it's not just a boy in white? What if it was Julie that helped him? He's not big enough
Ooh.
for those bodies. He's not strong enough
Ooh.
for any of those things. He cannot do that alone. I'm telling you,
Ooh.
he can't. What if Julie's the one that did all those things? And he just
You
doesn't
are,
remember, but
because he
Julie's the
didn't.
one who did it.
You are
Exactly.
cooking, Brian.
But then remember, he felt something towards. He went and talked to her, like,
Yeah.
"Hey, this hasn't happened in a long time. Why does he have this connection with her immediately?"
Ooh, you are cooking, brother. That makes a lot of sense, right? How did she survive? Because Julie, and if we look at Julie when she comes, her hair is different, everything. So it shows me that she's been doing this for a long
Long
time.
time. And maybe
Huh.
she stayed with Victor till someone came.
Uh-huh. Oh,
He
you're
thinks it's the
cooking.
boy in white. Remember, he thought Christopher, all this stuff. It was always the boy in white. He thought it was Jasper. But it was actually the boy in white. Maybe it was really Julie who did that. It stayed with him, helped him bury those bodies. He can't do it alone. He can't.
You're cooking. Yeah, 100%. Maybe story walking Julie met young Victor.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly, Carmenacre. See, this is why I like having these chats with you guys and coming in here because we all coming up with some stuff and it's very interesting. Now, we got to put it all together, right? We coming up with all the stuff, but at some point we're gonna have to put the pieces of the puzzle together. But I think we're definitely getting onto some tracks that you know
It
maybe a
just
lot of
makes
people.
perfect
Yeah,
sense. All this
yeah.
makes sense.
And I
Because
know
we
a lot.
knew Victor can't live. He can't last by himself. He's
Hmm.
a 12, 11-year-old boy who's been traumatized,
Hmm.
but it's like one thing helps the other. So like Julie knows he likes peaches. So she found the peaches and told him, "Hey, eat these peaches." That's why he loves the peaches. That's why he's eating peaches in front of Julie. Like it's all there in the first 2 episodes. It's all
Yeah,
there in the first season. He's eating
yeah.
that stuff because she's the one who provided that stuff for him. She's the one that helped him with the bodies. All that could
Mm,
be all Julie.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I really do. I like it, and that's why he opens to Julie when she arrives, even shares peaches with her. Yes, Carbonaclo, you're on point, one hundred
I see
percent.
it. Yeah.
And I know you guys watch other people's stream. Let us know, or you know, are these theories that other people have come up with, or you getting them firsthand through us? Because I watched a few, and I've seen them go off this, but I never seen them actually talk about the stuff that we are doing right now. Now, I'm not trying to toot a horn or anything, and we could be wrong, but I
No,
just
I don't
don't.
know.
I haven't
We
seen
could be
anyone
wrong, but I
talking
think it's
about it.
coming from them. It's coming from them saying this stuff, and then
Yeah.
we're putting our ideas together. It's everybody coming together, figuring out this stuff, and I think that's the best thing. I mean, none of us could come up with this stuff without you guys. So
Facts, 100%. Y'all are too funny. Y'all cracking me up. Listen, well, thank you, Nikisha. We're glad we try to entertain. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
probably
We
at
just
work.
want
It's probably at work listening to us.
Vanessa said when Julie tried to save Dim, she was
Shovel.
evil and and scratched up. What is she doing in the future? Have the monsters changed their hunting style? Well, it's possible that they did because we've seen that Smiley ran at Miranda, and then we
Mhm.
haven't seen them run ever since. Now I know they said that once Boyd got the talisman, things changed. So that could definitely be a possibility too as well. Um, yeah, yeah. We're gonna definitely find out how Julie got scratched up. I think it's something or somebody was trying to stop her from doing the time traveling. And I'm agree with you. I don't think it was the man in yellow because she looked shocked when she seen him, so it didn't look like she seen him before. So it was either um
But
Jade,
she knew
like you
something
said.
was going to be doing
Yeah,
happening. But I think
yeah.
Jade is a problem in the future. I really do for them.
Absolutely, 100%. Promise immortality doesn't sell to me. Would make more sense if they sacrificed their kids to leave Fromville. You want to leave this nightmarish town? Give me your kid. You're not your kids. They're not your kids anymore. Ugh. I don't even know if I'd be sacrificing my kid to get out of
Yeah.
that town. You know what I mean?
No,
I
I'm not gonna
disagree.
sacrifice. I'll
But
sacrifice myself for my kids.
yes,
I'm not gonna sacrifice my
absolutely.
kids from town.
Absolutely, and you're right. The immortality stuff was just for whatever reason we're gonna have to find out maybe why they wanted immortality or what this guy did to convince them that they wanted immortality. So it's definitely gonna be interesting. She said, "Brian the Grizzly, you're broad with highlights and very studious." Yes, studious. You're great. Do you think all of the creatures are from the OG timeline? I don't know. I think there are too many monsters for only 7 sacrificed kids. Maybe they ended up adding creatures in every cycle.
We thought so, but look, every creature is right here on this picture. Everyone
Yeah,
we've talked to is right here on the picture.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think these are all the creatures. I just think sometimes it looks like there's a lot more than there are. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think all the creatures are the ones that are here standing because it wouldn't make no sense for other creatures to be not witnessing the rebirth. You know what I mean? It seems like it's kind of a ritual thing that they're always doing. So they're all standing around, they're smiling, they're watching the rebirth. So yeah, I think that's all of them. They have a lot of explaining. They have a lot to explain with the kids and monsters. They do have a lot to explain. 100%. Brian, I'm with you on the Christopher being the reason for the massacre to occur. Maybe he told the hiding spots to the man in yellow or something. I don't know. I feel like he sacrificed Eloise.
Because
Go
once
ahead.
again, if he's thinking maybe if I sacrificed our daughter, but that's not their daughter.
Hmm.
You know, so if I agreed to it, maybe then this would have all ended. He,
Absolutely.
you know, and that's why he sacrificed everybody, killed everybody, hoping this town would end, and that's not what happened. Just
Absolutely.
kept on going.
Because when you look at the scene where he's talking to the boy in white, it's not just that he doesn't want to do it. He's angry. He doesn't believe. You know what I mean? So it's either one of two things. He didn't do what he was supposed to do, and that's why everything happened, or he did something to cause everything to happen. So,
Telling you, he had to cause that massacre.
yeah, I agree. Do you think Julie telling Tabitha that she's afraid of getting stuck story walking with no one there to wake her up was foreshadowing her destiny?
Ooh,
Yes,
that and that's why she's going back and forth, just doing the same thing over and over again because no one's there to wake her up.
that's interesting. That is interesting. 100%. I think Julie gets lost in time somehow. Maybe gets out in another timeline or something. Tried to call home, and that's the phone call that took Thomas's life. That's why Jim disappeared for 1 year. You know what? That's interesting. That's a very interesting thought. Um, because the way it makes it seem like, yeah, there may be a reason for Thomas's actual death, and we may get to see all of that too, right? Maybe she does get out, tries to call back home, and yeah, she realizes this was her fault. Yeah.
I actually think it's from that called because they only could be 2 kids. Having that
Ooh,
third kid makes it doesn't balance everything out. You can't have a third kid. Doesn't work. So From had to call to distract her from that, and then that's what caused Thomas to die.
wow, that's interesting. Imagine a future version of your daughter calling you and your son dies in that moment, which would be the reason, you know what I mean? Like why Jim kind of turned his back and had to do his stuff with his family because it was Tabitha that was changing the child, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
Jim. Yeah, it's Tabitha. Yeah, he
But
would
that's
be
why
in shock.
I think From called because they only could have 2 kids when they came in. Caused this rift between them so they could travel, so they could pull them in the From. But you only could have 2 kids when they came in.
That's tight, bro. That is tight. He would be in shock, explaining the whole year missing, like Tabitha told. Yeah, exactly. And he said, "Awesome stream, fire. Appreciate it, man.
This
Thank
has
you
been
very
great.
much."
I've enjoyed this
Absolutely.
too, guys. You guys have opened my eyes just as much as
Facts.
we had these good ideas, but I was watching and it was coming up, and you guys are just kind of just putting fuel on the fire, and now we're gonna have this. We're cooking. That's what's going on, guys. We're cooking.
Absolutely. Now this is gonna be the one stream where I gotta go and put shorts out for this one. I gotta cut this one out because I want to get that stuff out there. Because if no one else is really talking about the stuff we're talking about, I want to put it out there so people know that it was us that called this stuff first. If it went
I
through, you
like
know
it.
what I mean?
I
I
like
like
it.
that a lot. Carmen, I have the same theory about Julie being the reason Thomas died. Ooh, you guys are cooking in the chat too as well. I could have come up with this stuff without this community. Yeah, no one asked you, Nerd Man. So first off, as you guys know, Nerd Man's been on the stream before. Nerd Man said this was a video game.
Yeah.
Like, you can't come up with no good theories, bro. You said it
Oh,
was a video game. That just didn't even make any sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, that would be a huge plot twist. Well, we're definitely going to be in for some huge plot twists. 100%. Like, let's not. Season 4 is going to be some plot twist. It's going to be. It's go. If what I'm thinking, and I kind of have a feeling, I no, I can't even say that because I don't know where they're gonna go. To be honest with you, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, if the man in yellow could walk during the day, right, and he could just kill people easy like that,
there has to be
we're
something to him, and I think
yes,
that there's going to be like those totem things, the things that they ruined by the cabin. Is what's
hmm
going to keep him out of the town. They have to
yeah,
restore those, and it keeps him out of the town.
they gotta find some way to keep him out of the town because if he can just walk freely through the town, like these guys, they can't come out their house during the day and they can't come out at nighttime now, right? So
They just screwed.
So I'm like, oh, I think I know where the story is going. But then when I think about it, I'm like, no, I have no
I think
idea where the
Jade is going to remember that. He's going to say, "Oh my goodness, what if we put those things up, repair
yeah.
that thing, and then all of a sudden he can't cross."
Because to be honest with you, that thing, when it broke and they focused on it, it's important. It is going to be important and it's going to come back again. So I agree with you. That's very interesting. And Julie being the reason Thomas died explains if Ethan is the man in yellow, him going after her or something like that.
But
Ooh.
he didn't go after her. He really went after Jim.
Yes, he did. Now, is he trying to stop Julie from going? Well, no, because again, I don't think Julie's seen him before. I think that was the first time she's seen the man in yellow, right?
Yeah, that was.
And
She was shocked. She seen him,
yeah,
shocked. But she knew
yeah,
something was after him. Something killed him. She
yeah.
just didn't know what it was until
What it
she just
was
saw
exactly, exactly. So I do agree. The faceless girl has come up with an awesome theory explaining the dates on Tabitha's dream vision. It's awesome. You should invite her someday. I actually reached out. I did. I
it.
watched one of her streams one time and I made a comment on there and I, said we do streams from stuff too. Never heard back. But yeah, definitely. I do agree. I like some of her theories too. The faceless girl. So the cowboy creatures and the creature that told Victor if he keeps coming to the tunnels, they would make him stay a couple. They're always together, even in that picture. It makes sense, 100%.
What
But
about
now
the
we
old
have,
man?
uh, huh,
So we got those two being a couple. You got the
yeah,
old man, this lady, cowboy guy who looks like a sheriff, really.
hmm
Then there's like a diner waitress and the fat guy and the lady in the black. I don't know. She's really dark, so I can't tell. And then you see the
yeah,
other three on the other side.
right. So, and there should be a one for Smiley too, right? A
Yeah,
female there for
exactly. And
Smiley.
you don't see. I don't see. I see one, two, three, four, 6 guys. Smiley makes 7.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 females.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Hmm.
And here comes Danny. Oh my God, stop this. I don't want y'all to cook. No, we cooking, Danny. We cooking.
Too late, Danny. You should have got here early. Should put water on fire. But how we cooking?
Facts. It's definitely following game logic. Oh, okay. So let's get your theory on that, Garnett. You think it's following game logic? You think it could be a game? It's like a video game with
The endless
with the
lives.
endless. Okay, so maybe you guys are digging Nerdman's theory. I'm like Danny. I was like caca. You know what I mean?
I think Nerdman is. I like Nerdman is his thought process. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I like his thought process.
The warping, magical items, the food, the weather, the list is long. Okay. I you know what? I guess I could see where you guys are coming from that. For me personally, I don't see it being a video game, but I could
I think it'd
definitely
be a
see.
cool video game. I don't know if it's a video game thing. I think this would be a cool video game to try to get out. It'd be like Resident Evil.
I agree. I agree. Oh, they should absolutely make a video game of From. Imagine a VR open world From video game. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't play VR because they give me headaches. But yeah, it definitely would. I would buy it and play it. You got to run back to town now, Julie to Jim. Why run to town? Maybe the man in yellow can't
Cannot
enter the
enter the town. Exactly.
Mm.
But Jim, being who he is, he can't just listen to his kids. Because you know what? Just saying, if a black guy, if she just started running, you know what I would have done? Just start running with her.
Yeah, me too.
Why we running?
100%. 100%. What am I trying to fight this thing for? You know what I mean? I've seen, and you see, here's the thing, and I agree with you, right? Because you ain't never seen this thing before, right? All of a sudden, this thing pops up and talking about the song that Jay just played. Yeah, you should have ran. He should have ran. He should have ran. He should have took off. He should have ran. I agree. I agree. It being a video game would have to be like it would be a twist within a twist. Yeah, 100%. I'm not saying it's a video game, just saying MJ should make one and sell it. Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree.
This ain't nothing but Cabin in the Woods repackaged. No, it's way.
No,
it's definitely not that, Danny. Definitely not. Did you have anything else, Brian? Anything else that got your attention?
No, this is great. I really appreciate all the things we came up with. I'm going to write all this stuff down, keep it safe for us. All these theories, I think these are great theories, and I want to see which one of them. I think one of them is going to come to be true.
Me too, 100%. And we already know I called the time traveling already, so I'm just saying, But yeah, Sarah left the door open, and Kenny's dad died in this episode. So sad.
So sad.
Yeah. I know, and we still Boyd still hasn't told Kenny the absolute truth with that
about
situation, right? All the situations. So it's definitely going to be interesting. All they got to do is not. Oh God, here we go, Danny. I ain't even gonna bother with that. But guys, we hit the 2-hour mark, and I think the stream is good for 2 hours, especially when we're coming up with these theories. We will have more stuff for episode 3 coming next week. Tuesday, we will be back here again. Thank you, everybody that popped in. Nakisha, thank you for popping in. Daryl for popping in. Garrett for popping in. Kramanako, thank you. Jack Laws, appreciate it. Danny, I'll give you a shout out. Nerdman for popping in. Vanessa Wicked, thank you for popping in. And again, thank you for being a member as well. Always appreciate it. We got Mackie Vals. Thank you for coming in.
Because we gotta say Daryl, because Daryl has some really good stuff.
Absolutely, Daryl. Daryl, 100%. You know what I mean? And if I missed anybody, I do apologize if I missed anybody that actually commented. But again, like Brian said, we do this because you guys make it fun for us to do this, man. And I appreciate every single one of you that comes and spends these hours with us, man. It's always a pleasure. Brian, let the people know where they can find you one last time, sir.
So 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We go live Monday and Thursday at 9:30 to midnight, or sometimes a little bit past midnight. But then we are definitely doing our Silo episode breakdowns on Saturday starting at 9 p.m. It's so much fun. I love Silo now. I'm reading all the books. I'm halfway through Shift, which is the second one already. So we're getting through it. We're gonna have a lot of theories for that too, but it's nothing like From. There's nothing like From.
100%. I agree with you. Vanessa Wickett said, thank you. You're very welcome. Nikisha said, great stream as always. See you next time. Thank you for popping in. Always a pleasure. You already know that, Nikisha. You done know already. What you could do in the time before someone
Plug you.
Interesting. Appreciate the shout out, guys. Oh, always. We're always gonna shout you guys out, man. I appreciate you guys for coming in. Much appreciated. I said fire stream. Thank you, Crown Monaco. Again. Make sure you guys are here next week, same place, same time. It'll be me and Brian breaking it down, and we will be doing this until season 4 comes out.
I'll keep you going.
Yeah, fact, 100%. You know what I mean? And we'll bring more people on because listen, before we go, I told my boy I do a show called the OOC, you know what I mean, with one of my boys, Roberto. I told him, I said, you gotta watch From, bro. He messaged me today. He was on the ambulance scene, and all I got was fires. He was like, yo, I knew it was coming back. Yo, this show was fire. Like, he's been telling me over, the seasons, like, I'm here. Yeah, this is wicked. I'm loving the show. But I could feel his enthusiasm when he actually sent me the message. It was like, yo, this is fire. He was like, sick show. And I said, bro, you still got a lot more to go. Don't even worry. If you think that is fire, wait till you get to the Dale part. You know what I mean? And then wait to get to the last episode. And I didn't tell him the Dale part because I don't want to keep that a surprise, but I'm just saying, wait till he gets to those parts. He's gonna be amazed, guys. But again, thank you guys for coming in. Much appreciated. And we will see you on the next one. Peace, love, and hair grease. Peace.
God damn it.
Jim, we're driving in circles. You're drove out.
What are they?
You believe in monsters?
Promise me.